effects of judgment in our speech. Since I launched my brand as the Maverick Speaker Coach, I have added into the evaluation looking for judgments in our speeches. And what does that mean? I would like to illustrate that to you by calling Shore on the floor. Please come. So, nice to see you here. She is our guest. Now, Shore, have you spoken before?
A few times, but
right.
short, brief
Very
about
short.
my business.
So
Long time ago.
But today you did speak.
Ooh.
Yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
you introduced yourself, yes?
Yeah.
So in that speech, were there judgments there? Judgment is looking at something as either good or bad.
Yeah. Me judging my own speech? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? And which one have you looked at?
I'm not good enough.
Okay.
I can't do it.
All right.
I have a lot to learn. Who am I?
Good. So that who am I? It's something like doubt, right?
Yeah,
All
doubt
right.
in myself.
So who among you has felt the same way? Has seen these things in their speeches? Sushil, you haven't.
No, I just was not following your question. But yeah.
Oh, the question is, have you seen doubt in your speeches, like in the sentences that you speak, in the words that you speak? Sometimes, do you do what she does? Repeat the number one.
I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough. You're kind of insinuating that in your speech sometimes. Is it true?
Or make fool of myself. What about if I make mistake?
Okay. So that bleeds into your speech, yes? Thank you. Please give her a big hand. Thank you, Sheree. That is an actual testimonial from a person who has spoken that she can see that in her speech she judges herself. And when we judge ourselves, we are inclined to judge others because whatever we see in ourselves, we project onto others. Sunil, have you done that?
Projecting myself on others?
Like the positive and the negative self-judgments that you have, do you see yourself sometimes in your speech you judge others also that way?
Yes, because your perception you use a perception to judge other people, and your perception could be limited or could be wrong, because the information or the experience you collected is based on that your perception will be built. So
Right.
yeah, it could not be right, could be wrong too. So
Right. And within our own perceptions of ourselves, we project that to the audience. And so what happens here is that we react to the audience according to our own perception of ourselves. Let's say I see myself as not good enough in speaking. So whenever I'm here in front of you, I look at you and I say, oh my God, they're looking at me. And you know what? They're thinking I'm not good enough. But that is really my own perception of myself. So we are creating our own fears. We are creating our own stress within our body whenever we speak. Because if you fear speaking, and if you fear what the audience is going to talk about you, or going to think about you, or going to evaluate you with, then you will have stress. And the result is, and the effect of judgment, self-judgment specifically, is stress. And guess what we do when we have stress? We take the pill and if we are not inclined to go to the doctor, we go to a health coach. Sure, as a health coach. So, and we ask them, what can we do to relieve this stress? But you did not realize that it was your own self-perception of yourself that actually created this fear that you are now reacting to. And you projected this fear into the audience. And then you are reacting also to the audience, not knowing that that is actually created by you. You are actually the creator and the created. Because as you create, you become that creation. And that creation bleeds through to the society. Why do I say that? Because the audience actually belongs to the community. And guess what? Whatever they see in you, they will bring with them in their relationships, in their work. Because we are all interpreting ourselves, either in the bad side or in the good side. But what if we put a solution to this and say to ourselves, whenever we see ourselves judging ourselves, and say, come on, June, be here. You are now going to your mind interpreting Shurei's speech. You are now going to your mind interpreting Sunil's speech. I can see that that will lead you to stress. So June, come back here to this reality. Breathe through these judgments. These are one of the things I do as a Maverick health coach. I look at the judgments in the speech, the blame points, the beliefs, the ideas, that is an interpretation of reality rather than what it really is. So then speaking becomes a self-empowering process. And so then I like to speak more. But when I judge, I become guilty. I don't like to speak anymore. just looking at my own interpretation of myself whenever I don't like something, whenever I run away from something. So now what I do is, if I have a dislike about something, I turn my head back to that which I dislike. I forgive myself and I say, what is it that I'm reacting to? And then I will, I have a story in my other speech, and from that fear, I actually developed an ebook. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I would encourage you to do the same.